Hello viewers, and welcome to another Odyssey Nostalgia raiding guide. This time we venture into what many consider the crowning jewel for DCUO's raids, which is Fortress of Solitude 2, the Power Core. As before, for the Chasm, we're wearing full tier 2, Central City weapons with PvP vendor rings, neck and 65 spent skill points. This is Anhur, and I am joined by...
Ivybird,
Fuzion,
Dreadwolf,
Mitchell,
Tesseract,
Flamefury,
Senilex,
Borsca,
Saiyan.
And it's again a four-way split, so top left is Anhur, I was playing a Quantum DPS. On top right was Cold Fusion, Ice Tank. Bottom left was Tesseract, a Quantum Controller. And bottom right was Ivybird, who was... were you Nature at the time?
Nature Healer.
Nature Healer. We've zoomed into Cold Fusion, Ice Tank, as it was quite a pivotal point at the beginning, getting the aggro. Can you tell us a little bit how you go about that?
Yeah, normally, obviously I walk into the room and I just start pulling the ads in sections rather than pulling the lot of them, because if you pull them in sections with tier 2 gear, you can deal with a lot of damage then, and obviously you can block a lot and maintain the aggro while the DPS nuke them down, and I'll do this until I get to the end of the room where you push the button.
he's always out in the pool. It's Cold Fusion.
Slag.
As a damage player, it's just so easy at this point. You see the tank Cold Fusion at the top right, putting everything together, and we just have to grind it down, keep your distance.
Yeah, good place to stand is behind that little wall in the middle for the beginning bit.
Yeah, that stops getting pulled over into the bigger
Yeah.
groups of mobs.
Exactly.
I think at the time I was yelling at everybody to slow down because we're just so unused to the level of the power regen that I was really trying to get everybody to slow down between the waves so that we'd get the power back up to approaching a full bar before we had to deal with another group. And of course everybody was completely ignoring me.
Like
You're
anyone
a
ever
woman,
listen to you?
and this bunch of mobs you pulled in here, you can see the floating orb thingies, the 45ers. Those have to go down fast because they give shields to 12v the other mobs, making so they only take 1 point of damage each time. You can see the pull effects on the mobs there. They pulled the Ivybird and got him killed.
The control in that first section is just nuts. You just pulled about all over the place. You can't get any of your powers off.
The stalkers all have a pull, the big guys all have a pull, and the assassins then kill you when you get pulled to them. It's great fun.
Yeah, the assassins tend to hit the hardest ain't in a bunch, but they don't have that much health. They're kind of like glass cannons, really.
Yeah, there's a few key enemies you want to be watching out for. Sunstone Fortifiers, priority target when they're up, because they shield, as it was mentioned, they shield the enemies. You can only hit them for 1 point of damage. Sunstone Stalkers, they pull you as well. So if you're trying to cast off powers or get to safety, they can drag you in.
Domineers, that's the name of the big guys. Sunstone Domineers, they pull you in as well. But they don't hit very hard, they're just got a lot of hit points.
That button that
By
you've just seen
comparison.
pop up at the back, when you hit that, that will set off a cutscene in 10 seconds or so, and at that point all of the remaining ads will disappear.
Cheekily spending a skill point there, hey Rob?
I know. I was hoping that would go unnoticed.
Right,
I ruined it.
so most of us are playing with 65 spent skill points.
Cancel it and do it again.
What was it that you'd forgotten to buy?
Flurry Shot. The pivotal attack for bow that I always use and somehow forgot to get.
Well done.
An excuse to use an extra skill point.
I know. I'm sure I'll be forgiven.
Nah, he was totally
No,
OP
you
in
won't.
this raid.
Everyone will remember.
I don't know about that.
So, who's up for leading Odyssey? Any takers?
So we've just reached our first mini-boss. There is a feat associated with them.
Yeah, to get all combinations.
The meta combinations, yeah.
We got Power Girl here, don't we? And you
Yes.
can also get Bizarro and Supergirl.
Supergirl.
And it's random which one will appear here, and the other two then will appear later on in the raid.
They each drop loot for a different role, don't they?
Yeah, weapons. Yeah.
It's for support roles, I believe. There's no DPS weapons.
No, tank, healer, and controller.
I believe Power Girl gives the controller gear, Bizarro gives the tank gear, and Supergirl gives the healer gear.
That's right.
103 DPS weapons, because FOS 1 gave all the DPS weapons.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just trying to think of Power Girl's key mechanics there, but nothing strikes me as overly important.
It's fire breath
I think
attack
Bizarro's.
thing? Not fire breath, laser vision. Something like that. She spins round and does an attack.
Yeah.
It's a frost breath, yeah.
That's the one, you know. I'll get there eventually.
All three of them have something that murders people close by, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
both Supergirl and Power Girl has the frost breath where they turn a circle, and Bizarro's got the circular fire breath. And Bizarro's also got his lunging rampage.
The lunging rampage is actually uses counter mechanics though, so if you block it, you will actually knock them down.
Yep.
Which is a good thing to remember.
Time
Counter
to start
mechanics.
the cutscene. Let me guess, that is Dread right there in the corner, correct?
Actually,
That's
that's
Borsca
Borsca.
spazzing out.
That's Borsca.
What? I was having a fit.
Yeah, I did not make that cutscene. The bastard got ahead of me.
Yeah, Borsca just kind of ran off to get the cutscene going, and we zoomed back then towards.
I thought it was because he loved the camera, but okay.
Could be a bit of both.
Probably. I'm always in a rush.
This part is a real pain in the balls.
Yeah, this can be hard. Well, in that gear.
Yeah, we've just zoomed into Cold Fusion, the ice tank. Always want to give him space to work. So he's just taking a step down and they all chase him up.
Yeah, it's very easy to get overwhelmed at this point. And
Yeah, the
as-
group want.
that-
Yeah, the group wants to keep a good distance between a tank and the mobs because if you get caught, then you're gonna get basically nuked straight away by the assassins.
the tank will also want to be careful not to go over that small ledge there, because that will actually affect line of sight, and you can't always feel them. Oh,
It's really easy to get pulled off there as well.
Yeah, I got pulled away past the tank and down there. I really thought I was going down. I got lucky that time.
As soon as you get pulled over the ledge, make sure you get back up to avoid any line of sight issues.
You could observe the priority targets there as well. So Sunstone Fortifiers were going down first, followed by the Assassins, the Stalkers, and then the Domineer. As you make your way down, there will be a few additional enemies that spawn and come for you, but again, if you take your time and take it in waves, there's nothing to be overly concerned about.
Yeah, there's a few what spawn on the ramp what we just done, and then there's the road kind of forks off, and there's a set of ads that spawn on each fork, and they just come towards you.
I do remember when this first came out, we would just run down willy-nilly, and the wipes you would get just on that small hill was crazy. I mean, I specifically remember telling a tank to be careful, this bit's difficult, there's a lot of damage there, and he's like, I'll be fine, I'm an ice tank. Dead. Within seconds. It was quite amusing at the time.
You probably gave him shitty heels, mate.
I never gave him any heals, I let him go down by himself. I said you're gonna go down there and die, mate. I'm not going down after you.
See Rob there, go sneak behind, get the chest.
Kryptonian flag suit.
Yeah, all counts for that feat.
Look at the hands in the Phantom Zone barrier when it comes up. You can see them trying to get out of the Phantom Zone.
That's
That's
what I
really
love
a
about
cool
this
effect.
raid. There's really lots of detail in this raid. I think they put a lot of They did put a lot of effort into creating this one.
If you look close in the background on the shield at the back of the purple one, you can see handprints on the screen of people trying to get out of the Phantom Zone.
And Dread is always on cue, like a pro.
Like a pro, like a boss.
First boss that we've come up to, Prime Assassin. He gives us a little speech, as they always do. Cold Fusion on the top right instigates the attack. It keeps the enemy in the middle as best he can, while we space ourselves out. A few mechanics to watch out for, but we'll call those as he's doing them. There, for example, spin attack. Easily, before we did, you want to avoid it because it can take you down.
Yeah, that can't be interrupted. It's gonna happen no matter what, and if it catches you, it'll knock you halfway across the room with a lot of damage. So it would be advisable to move out of the way.
Yeah, there he goes again.
It's a teleport attack, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see when he's throwing his head back, he teleports to the middle, at which time he will do a pulse, a damaging pulse. You want to block through that. You know, it's just easier that way. And at the completion of that, he'll spawn these 4 crystals, which provide different things. So these ones are the shards of immunity. If you fail to take them down in a certain amount of time, they'll provide immunity to damage for him. There are other options, such as the ones that heal him. And what other ones are there, guys?
The red one. The red one that increases his attack.
Yeah, you get the damage buff.
The red one's also got an additional effect in that when he teleports and does the pulse, if it's the red ones that spawn, he occasionally does a second pulse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I usually pop a regen just in case.
When the crystals spawn, also 4 assassins spawn at the same time, so
yeah,
it would be good for the tank to hardlock on each of them and try to pull them in the centre where the boss is, so the DPS can get them down while they're grouped up.
I remember pugging this raid before I joined Odyssey, and we got to this boss, and we just kept wiping, and the healer, this guy called Oman, don't know if you've heard of him, he blamed the tank for not being able to round the adds up quickly enough, and the tank blamed the healer for not being able to heal him enough. But it was the adds were just running amok.
So when those crystals, so the healer was right.
When those crystals come up, do they still damage you? Do the crystals damage you if you melee them still?
No, they don't. No. But if the when the red just before they spawn, with the aggression being the red one, if you're close to them, there's like a small AoE in them, and they will hit you. So yes, they will damage just before they spawn. So you've got to be out of that area where the crystal is.
Also, the crystals, if you don't destroy them, will become more assassins. If you don't kill them in the time limit.
It has been very.
Yeah, so they both put some effect on the boss and spawns more ads.
Yeah. Yes. There's been various pictures on like the forums where people have spawned like 100 assassins from them crystals. It's crazy. It was fun.
Intentionally or otherwise?
Intentionally, they just they hide behind the Phantom Zone doorway, and the crystals keep on spawning, and they keep on breaking down, and the assassins keep on spawning. And if you stay there long enough, there'll be so many assassins. Really funny.
So it's not like the accidental army of Supermen that you can get in the FOS one?
No. You can do this intentionally.
So after the boss, you've just seen us go up this narrow tunnel. There's nothing there except a couple of ads. All the way down to these... Should we describe them as mini-bosses? The Alpha Stalker Triad?
Yeah, they have an interesting mechanic, these 3.
Yeah,
I really love this mechanic.
Tell us about it, Senilex.
As soon as you get one down to low health, you can't destroy one until all of them are down to pretty much to 0 health. So as soon as one's down to 0 health, just focus on the next one and the next one. Don't keep focusing on what's got 0 health, because he won't die until all 3 of them are down to that.
He will start seeing shields now.
I mean,
they all explode at the same time there.
Yeah, that mechanic's kind of like throughout the game. It's similar like with the Bat Family and the Lex and Superman in the
the new ops.
Yeah,
Brothers in Arms.
That's it. Yeah.
And the split bosses Nexus.
Nexus. Yeah.
We've just come to the what we call the bridge section. This is what can make or break a pug raid when you're doing this. You just notice at the top left, Tesseract threw a pull on her bar. We'll come to that as we go up. But these first bits is just 3 enemies we're going to take down. They're surrounding the crystal you can see there, which you have to carry up to the generator at the top.
And these dominators, I don't think they can be crowd controlled at all, can they?
No.
Yeah, they got quite a high willpower.
They definitely control you when I pull you.
So just zoomed on myself, Anhur, with the point of view of Cold Fusion on the bottom right. I'm going to carry the crystal up. People get into position first, so you'll notice Cold Fusion is standing on midway of the bridge. This is so when the enemies walk down, he can pull them off, and it takes him time to walk round. It's faster and easier than having to stand there and damage them down.
It's a good idea to have a DPS at the bottom with the person that's carrying the crystal as well, because you'll see some fortifiers will spawn behind that need to be
they'll
taken
follow
down.
him. Yep.
Yeah, when I'm healing, I like to be down there as well, so that I can put on a shield onto the DPS to give them that little bit of protection from them.
As you see, the tank will take some damage now as well. So.
Yeah, I was about to say, normally before I pull the assassins, I normally throw a reflect just to give me a bit of mitigation.
From Anhur's point of view there, if you press number 4, that gives you a speed boost. You can't spam it for obvious reasons. There are enemies following behind me, but that's what the other DPS come in. Bit slow taking them down there, so I've been controlled. Dropped the crystal, but somebody else has picked it up for me.
You do have a time limit to get the crystal up the hill, besides the fact that they're constantly spawning ads, so you don't want to mess that up.
And there's the throw.
Yeah, you can carry it all the way down to the end, but you can just quite as easily throw it. But be careful there are no enemies on your screen, because if there are, you're more likely to throw it at the enemy than you are that crystal.
This is the point that for a controller you really should have a pull on your bar just to back up the tank.
Yeah, there's 3 enemies which will do the damage to the crystal. I think they spawn 2 on the inside and then 1 on the outside, and then once those set are dead, they alternate sides then, so 2 will be on the outside, 1 more spawn on the inside.
It's the sentries that actually go in and damage the crystal though, isn't it?
Yeah, the sentries.
Yeah, as you see Tesseract pulling it back.
You saw Cold Fusion getting overwhelmed by a bunch of ads that were there.
Yeah. But the idea of the tank is in that position is that he's going to be the main guy that's pulling the majority of the sentries from left and right if he's able to position himself enough.
If 2 of the sentries get through and happen to damage the crystal, they will destroy it. So that's the importance of pulling the sentries away from the crystal.
You'll have to start all over again.
Yeah.
And once it's powered up, it opens the door and you can move on through. And we hit the next boss.
The second boss, yep, with a feat.
The corrupt Jor-El AI.
And those of you that hasn't noticed yet, I'm actually controlling this raid. I know.
And how do you get this feat then, Rob?
Explains the poor power.
Poor power and high damage for the controller. Right, there's a feat attached to this boss as well, called Size Matters.
Does it matter, Tesseract? Anyway, so the...
You would know better than I.
Cold Fusion has instigated the fight. You can only do 1 point of damage to this guy at this time. So there's, you don't have to start throwing out your powers. Fast. He throws what we like to call crispies out of his hands. Do some immense damage, as you can see there. Full tier 2 got taken down. As he punches the floor, a crystal falls from it, and you want to really leave it to one person so they know what's going on. I've just picked it up and moved it in, and he'll charge at it to break it.
Yeah, especially if you want to do the feet.
Yeah, he'll shrink,
carrying it.
and you can do damage to him. Yeah, the feet, the size matters. You only want to shrink him down once, as you've just seen there.
Yeah, when he's finish punching the floor, ads will spawn to the north and south, and I think it's west, and you just pull him into the center near Joral. They're very aggroable. You just pull him in, and sometimes two come at the same time rather than one, so they're easy to deal with.
And they're really squishy as well.
Yeah.
It is important to take those sentries down though, because they will overrun the tank if you don't.
Yeah, if you don't take him down, the more will spawn basically.
As you shrink Jarell, he does less damage and he takes more damage, which is why it's far easier to shrink him all the way down to the very bottom, and his health just disappears at that point. But as they say, the feat for only shrinking him once. But is it not that if you put a second crystal in, he'll shrink to the even smaller size anyway?
Yeah, he's got two sizes that he shrinks to. The smaller size you'll see him with a sword. I don't know what the name of the style is with that sword, but yeah. So if you shrink him once, it'll just go down to a good size. If you shrink him like even smaller, you'll see him with the sword. So if you're trying to do the feat and you shrink him down twice, once you see him with the sword, you know that you can't do that feat. The size matters.
So the way to do that feat is put one crystal in and just nuke him until he takes one point of damage again. When he gets to a point when he takes 1 point of damage again, you can put another crystal in.
Yeah, usually when you hit him with 1 point damage, is usually in the center, so you can get a good idea when it's about to start happening or when you're about to start hitting ones.
It's a pity you can't shrink him down until he's really tiny and then just kick him off the edge.
That would be really handy.
Yeah.
The ground pound technique that he does, I remember that used to hit way harder than it does now.
Yeah, it was a case of you didn't block it, you were dead.
Wait, we barely took any damage from this.
Oh, you just got great healers with you.
Wait, you should be blocking through it really when he's doing the ground pounds, but as we say, it doesn't feel like it does the same damage it used to.
It feels like they nerfed the entire raid, to be honest. I mean, the crystals on the first boss, the assassin.
Yeah, they go down a bit quicker.
Those as well.
I believe nature healers, to negate that effect, the ground pound effect used to pop a swarm shield so that everyone was protected from it.
Well, Swarm Shield only covers the four most injured members of the team.
Yeah, so you could only use it once, couldn't you? Because you would risk of overwriting each other, wouldn't you?
Well, it also only hits the close. It's got a range thing. I found that if you run away from the other nature healer and both activate it, there's a good chance of getting it over most of the team.
It's just a fundamental understanding of the mechanics, I think. I don't think it's any easier or harder than it was before.
So you're saying we're just that good?
the players as a whole, once they understand the mechanics, and it's just so easy now. Look at Nexus, we're doing that in 25 minutes.
Oh.
Gerald dies, you get the loot. You're coming up to
a split.
Yeah,
probably
split.
The most difficult part of the raid, really, if you're doing it properly, how they intended, which we'll do. We discussed beforehand how should we do it, in the classic style where we used to go down all one tunnel, then warp to rally, and then go down the other one. But we thought we'd take the jump and just do 4 on each side, and you've got the perfect makeup already of the team. If you go with 2 tanks, but if you don't, then you want to get 2 DPS on one side with the tank and the DPS on another side.
When you don't have a tank as a controller, you're completely taking over the crowd control abilities, and you have to keep the mobs locked down so the DPS don't take so much damage.
Yeah, at this level it's definitely not easy.
Like that.
But we stuck with it just to show that it is possible. Even in the basic entry level gear, tier 2, we had nothing, no mods, and you get to the end of it. So it's definitely doable.
What you shouldn't do here, and what Anhur likes to do, is just run to the opposite end and spawn everything in the tunnel, and then moan at people.
We've got video evidence here. Watch it. You notice I don't go anywhere. I don't run anywhere.
You already died once.
Yeah, and you have to do it,
because the enemy is overwhelmed us. Didn't run forward.
That's because everyone told you not to do it.
Only
so
overwhelmed
there you
you.
go. Down
Oh,
again.
look, there he goes again. Oh, there he goes again.
See, that's what you get for running off on your own, Rob.
They're like, we have to take down the strongest guy of the team first. Come on, that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
It's your winning personality.
You gotta say that was really unlucky. Just going past everyone else, go, hey, I remember him from YouTube.
The other advantage
Slow
of doing
and
it this
steady.
way is Lex doesn't bug out and run back to the beginning.
And you'll
yeah.
save a lot of time.
From the beginning of this ride, since it's ever come out, that freaking Lex is giving us problems in here.
For someone that can teleport, he has real trouble walking down a corridor.
Then the size of him though.
It's because he's always drunk, that's why.
Borsca just mentioned as well about the speed. This is by far the quickest method to do as well. We probably should have mentioned earlier that there is a speed feat associated with this. 45 minutes.
That is 45 minutes from your first attack against an enemy, though. When you first go in, there's a long cutscene, etc. They don't count towards the length of time it takes.
It's also one of the few instances where the feats pop as the boss dies and not when the scorecard pops.
Yeah, this is one of them. The feat will pop immediately when the boss dies.
I should do that. If it's a speed feat, I should do that for every speed feat instance.
Oh,
They just need to be consistent, it doesn't matter how.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have him on completion time, but...
It was also one of the few instances where you couldn't really get the speed feat on release night.
That's true.
6 hours we were in here.
Yeah, it took a while of working up to it. You couldn't just go in there first time and get it.
I remember that. It took us like, I think it was like 3 or 4 months, you know, when we had half a tier 3, I think, when we got a speed feat.
On Cold Fusion screen there, you can see the Triad again, and their shields popping up.
Yeah, the triads, after you've DPS'd all the ads down at the beginning near the entrance of the tunnels, once you get to the top of the tunnel, the first button, the triad normally spawns just in the centre behind you, and you just go back and DPS them down.
Bizarro. So the team on the left tunnel, we just have to contend with ads. Team on the right tunnel, hit the first sub-boss, which is Bizarro. Could be Power Girl, could be Super Girl, depends on who you get the first time on the entry.
I think Bizarro is the hardest one to get in here.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So we were lucky we had Bizarro on the tank side.
I mean, his melee attacks are fine. You can deal with them, and when he lunges towards you, but it's his AoE attack where he spins round and does.
He just did.
Yeah, the fire breath.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you can be quite a distance away, and he might still get you, but it's be advisable to block even if you are at a good distance.
One of the coolest things about this setup is that you can actually see through windows to what the other team is doing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, so the other side is just basically waves of ads will spawn. The first set of ads are quite the weaker set of ads, and each wave a different set of ads or different type of ads will spawn.
Yeah, they get stronger, don't they? With each wave? Yeah.
If the group that's not fighting the boss wipes, the boss will enrage and start doing some seriously crazy damage.
One shots.
I think he enrages when the NPCs on the mob side goes down. So if Lex were to die on the other side there, that's when he enrages.
Yeah.
It's about 30 or 40k a hit he starts doing, if I remember right.
And you only have to get him down to about
50% health.
50%? 50%,
Oh,
yeah, just to move on.
Yeah.
And there's getting them down opens the door. The same enemies you've seen before, the assassins, the stalkers, domineers.
It's a good idea for the side that doesn't have a tank for the controller, they can really make use of some crowd control abilities to stun or levitate the enemies or encase them.
You might be out of practice because we don't get much chance to do it, but yeah, it's good to have a couple things that you can have access to.
And now it's the other side's turn.
So you end up with whichever of the 3 metahumans you've not faced yet. Incidentally, if you do die and wipe, you can choose to go down different tunnels. So if you get to this point, then everybody can actually come down this tunnel to fight this last boss here. Is there a button you have to click on the other side? I think there might be.
There is, yeah.
There is, yeah.
So you'd still have to end up sending someone back to warp back and hit it. Or you could switch so that the tank side came to face the boss. But that should only be an issue if you end up dying at any point.
Yeah, so the roles are reversed now. The team on the right that just took down Bizarro, they have to contend with the ads. Team on the left, we have to deal with the meta sub-boss.
Yep.
The only real attack I think you should be watching for is when she spins, and it'll pull you in. Other than that, it's a standard keep your range.
Her heat vision can be a pain, as it can have a lockdown stun effect on you, which if you're the healer or the troller can be pretty detrimental to the group if you get hit by it.
Most of her deadly attacks are also she has a skull above her head before she does them.
Still think Supergirl's the easiest one.
Yeah, Supergirl's the easiest one.
Shot's following me.
Could you smell?
I think you're in there.
Really? I hope so.
I've already had her.
You do know that she's underage, right?
I would have preferred Power Girl, but yeah.
After the amount of time I spent in Foz 2, I'm half expecting that kind of treatment.
What,
As you can see there,
everyone wants to what you?
as you can see there, Supergirl just went down to 50% as well, just like Bizarro, and that's because they bugger off and we get to fight them both at the same time later on.
Doors opened. Stalkers and burrowers. They tunnel under the ground.
Yeah, you need to be
down.
careful here.
This was quite funny actually, because I only found out right here that Flamefury was on our side. I saw Dreadwolf running around, so I thought he was a DPS. So I never kept an eye on Flamefury's health. So all the healing he got was by accident.
So the point to take away from that is make sure you know who your team is on each side.
The unfortunate part of the UI is that it doesn't, group people. You can't set up groups that you could easily check who's on your side and who isn't. You've just got these names at the side of the screen.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you got to be someone pretty special if you don't notice the 3 other people who are walking around.
I know
you.
I'm special, mate.
Yeah, because I think when Flame died there, you actually shouted at me for not healing him.
Yeah.
We'll call that doing a Borsca.
So many things are already called doing a Borsca.
Great thing about this is the end of the tunnel. It's I can't even speak. There's no door, so you can swing around and help each other if the other one is falling behind, as you'll see us do now. Top left, Anhur. We've taken our ads down, so we're swinging round to help these guys on the right.
Puny humans.
And the other side, on the other side's dignity just went down the tubes, getting help.
No. We only got 1 DPS. They got 1.5.
You got the tank though. Everything's grouped up nice and easy.
What do you mean 1.5 DPS?
Look at him. He's only blocking. That's not doing any damage.
Should have called him Tesco. Every little helps.
So we approach a door here. We just got to wait for the NPCs to catch up.
Fascinating stuff.
Senilex, does this door open?
What? This one at the top of the hill?
So it does, yeah.
As you just saw there, a door opened and closed.
Actually, funny enough, the next door that's coming up, remember the bug for that?
Yeah,
yeah.
horrible.
It still does that. It still traps people in the door.
No,
Yeah, it can.
it's where was it when he trapped people in the door? If people went through it and it was too early before the cutscene. Sorry, after the cut.
It used to do
the
it
door
instantly.
opened.
Like the second you move forward, it used to just shut straight away.
This is one of my highlights of the whole raid. It's another door.
It
opens.
As you can
That's
see
it.
there,
It opened. People went through, and then after the cutscene, it closed. And in the earliest, when the raid first came out, nobody could. The raid couldn't go on unless them people were out because the door was closed permanently.
Yeah, and then when they added the teleporters, sometimes when you if you use the teleporter to get into the room, it teleports you into an empty instance where there's nothing there at all.
It's the most fascinating thing about one of the best raids in the game. We're talking about doors, ladies and gentlemen.
It's one of these things that just it's such a simple thing cause so many problems.
Well, remember,
It's like the one in Kandak.
Yeah, the Kandak door was harder than the final boss.
Jesus Christ, we had to count down. 3, 2, 1, go! Is everyone on the line? Is everyone on the line?
No, there's one left behind.
As you can see in the video, we're
restart again. Go on.
fighting both of the sub-bosses together now. The two that were previously defeated individually.
Yeah, they start on 50% when you
Yeah, just where you left them.
Yeah.
The main issue here is that there's the big ramp at the beginning of the room, so people in the past end up fighting out on top of this ramp, and it's all sorts of line of sight issues. So you really need to get your team to the bottom on the flat ground as soon as you can.
If you're really focused on the speed feat as well, the tank could be bringing them to the back door that opens just to take them there. So you save yourselves in not a great amount of time, a couple of seconds, but it all adds up.
You like
Not to keep
battles.
banging on about this door, but people kept on moaning on the forums, didn't they? Saying, we've been in here for 3 hours, we can't get past this door.
Oh yeah, that was it. I remember
Best
that.
challenge they put in.
Yeah, there was somebody that was complaining on the forum that he had been at the door for a whole hour. A whole hour. It was just so funny. And he listed all the methods that they had tried. It must have been about 35 bullet points of what they had tried. It was so funny.
That happened to us in Paradox Wave though once, didn't it?
Yeah, the door went open.
Took all 4 sub-bosses down. Went into the boss, wiped, couldn't get the door open.
Hey, stuff, people.
It'd be a good idea for your team on that last fight to focus on one of the sub-bosses at a time rather than splitting the DPS over both.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to take them down simultaneously. You can take them down one at a time.
You might have noticed as we come into this final room here that everybody's slowed down considerably as we take off movement mode.
Why is that?
Well, it just so
about
happens that in this room, if you're in movement mode or you have pets summoned, there will be these little balls that will appear that are almost invisible and will basically kill you.
A good idea in this room, as advocated by Cold Fusion, is to avoid the balls and stick to the outer rim.
I just like to point out here that normally I would stand to the opposite side of the boss and pull the boss there, but on this occasion I didn't, and I slowly moved over. So any tank that's doing this, when the fight first starts, go over to the opposite side of the boss, and the group should be adjacent.
Where you're
to
positioned now.
Yes, we're in position now.
Why did you do it otherwise again?
Don't know. Because it got. Why did I do it, or why didn't I do it?
Yeah, whatever.
Well, both of it.
But well, the reason I do it first is to take the is to get the aggro straight away and take the first initial damage rather than half of the members going down. And the second reason is just to give you know, group a bit of breathing space to get the power up and the healing's going as well, stuff like
The
that.
real truth is though that Cold Fusion feels funny tanking on the left hand side. That's why he tanks on the right hand side.
I got this thing about tanking on the left hand side. I don't know why.
So moving on, you just see we've taken the avatar of Meta down slightly, at which point he moved away and hit a terminal. 2 buttons have spawned, we've got to hit them. There are a few tentacles in the way, we have to DPS down. Because as you've just seen, they'll knock you off. You can't hit the button.
You can just about see that swarm shield's been popped on the tank there to let him hit the button properly.
Yeah.
Is there any actual tank shield that prevents those tentacles from hitting you?
Ice
no.
do. The ice
No,
ones?
they don't. When the raid first came out, Reflect would be able to do that, no problem. But now the tentacles, even when you pop Reflect, use a hard light shield, they go right through that straight away. So if you get lucky, you might pop Reflect and you can just get the button without the tentacles hitting you. But
can the tentacles be crowd controlled?
No. But
they respond quite well to aggro though.
Yeah, they can. Sorry.
If you really press for time as well for the speed feat, you can split up into the same 2 teams of 4 that you had going through the tunnels, and take 1 button each.
As controllers get your gear up enough, if you get enough dominance and health for your shields to be effective. I remember when I was Gadgets, I used to use Distract to hit those buttons without any real issues. But that was, you know, slightly higher gear than what we had there, and yeah, it was Quantum here, so that wasn't going to happen anyway. Quantum, it does have a personal shield, but I've got Quantum tunneling on, and the shield doesn't last as long as Distract would, so...
Yeah, I remember using Grandeur a lot in POVs.
Should probably mention as well that the arena itself, circular in fashion, you've got 3 what look like glass floors. On each of those you'll have the tentacles that will periodically swing round to the next side, then the next side. Goes in clockwise direction. So you always want to try and stay 2 of them ahead, 2 of the glass panels ahead.
So basically, yeah, stay behind the tentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind where the tentacle just spawned.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught in those tentacles. Tentacles.
Not with all these balls flying around.
Every time you hit those 2 buttons, he'll come off of the terminal and move back to the middle. He can be damaged for a time, and then he'll punch his own tentacles into the floor and spawn additional ones.
Sounds painful.
He wanders off at scripted percentages of health as well. Like, he always goes when he's got like this last 10%. He's about to wander away now.
Has anybody ever got that power core up to 100? Because I still to this day don't know what it does. Ian Rages. Okay, just to confirm.
Have you actually seen it happen?
No, but I read in the forums there was a group that wanted to find out, got together, and yeah.
I mean, I guess Ian rages, but does
How
he
would
rage
Ian
in a
rage?
cool way?
Yeah, does he spawn every tentacle?
It just does lots of damage, I believe.
Okay.
I wonder if a de-aggro soda will work when coming up to press this terminal.
No, as soon as you press the button, you automatically aggro all the tentacles. So
Yeah.
they all come back to you.
Yep.
So any sort of aggro dump, you can aggro dump to get to the button. As soon as you start pressing it, you generate full aggro again. It really is a case of either use a shield or kill all the tentacles first.
So you heard it here first. When you press those buttons, don't do a dump.
On this last switch, the boss will not be targetable until he comes back to the middle. You have to wet and walk all the way back over before you can do damage to him.
He doesn't
And when he
have to
reaches,
whip slash.
yep,
Yeah.
he hits hard.
You noobs.
Oh man, does he hit hard.
4 of us there. Purposefully done, obviously, just to show the kind of damage he can do.
Was that you got a bit of bullshit in your throat?
Yeah, smother.
One of these kids is doing his own thing.
Avatar of Meta is down.
The crowd
Time,
goes
5
wild.
minutes.
45
Yeah,
minutes.
in speed feed time.
That is speed feat time. Definitely.
Looking a bit chilled out.
Oh dear.
We're just keeping it cool.
I think I brainwashed you, Mitch.
And now we have Zod's inevitable betrayal.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming.
Didn't see that one at all.
Sudden yet inevitable.
Curse your sudden yet inevitable betrayal.
He does the same thing in Man of Steel. It's unbelievable. Can't trust him at all.
Spoiler alert.
Oops.
Is Zod? Everyone knows Zod's evil.
Not evil, he's just misunderstood.
And that's the scorecard finally popping there.
Yeah, but as we said earlier, the speed feat does proc when the Borsca's down. So.
And that's that. That's been Fortress of Solitude 2, the Power Core. We've been Odyssey. Any additional questions, please post them in the comments and we'll respond.
Or send a tilter called Fuzion in game.
That's always popular.
Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye guys.
Bye. %.
Ah!
It's like a counter until Flame reaches an orgasm.
Ow, ow, ow.
Flamegasm.
Right, ready to have some fun, guys?
Ow.
We have to press the buttons first.
He's
He
drained
drained
the
the
core.
Go, 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 go.
Someone throwing a Kryptonian bouncy ball.
Look, big balls!
Huh?
Oh, fucking hell! Whoa.
I've got you. Pick him up,
Get
pick him
him
up.
up, get him up.
Oh.
No, no!
Oh, 100k!
I reckon we
That's
could
what
kill him
happened.
like that.